In the previous video, we had completed explanation up to line number 251. Now we have to continue from Antonio's speech. Okay, now Antonio said, "Most heartily, I do beseech the court to give the judgment." What Antonio said, that most heartily, that is heartfully, I say, I do beseech the court. Beseech means that I urge the court. Urge, or we can also say, I strongly request the court. So what he says, that heartfully I urge the court to give the judgment. Now here you can see that when Antonio saw that Shylock at any cost was not ready to show mercy on him, so he also lost the hope of getting any kind of relief from his side. So he said that I request the court to give the judgment. Then Portia said, "Why then, thus it is. You must prepare your bosom for his knife." Then what Portia said, that why then, that is well then, that well, if you are also asking for the judgment, here it is. You must prepare your bosom for his knife. That is, you must prepare your bosom. Bosom means chest, as it was written in the bond that Shylock has to cut a pound of flesh from his body near his chest. Okay, so she said that you must prepare your bosom for his knife. Then Shylock, "O noble judge, O excellent young man." Now you can see that Shylock was very happy to hear that Portia has said to Antonio to prepare his chest for his knife. So he was so happy, so he said that, "O noble judge, O excellent young man." Then he was praising Portia very much out of excitement. Then Portia said, "For the intent and purpose of the law has full relation to the penalty, which here appeareth more due upon the bond." Now what Portia said, for the intent and purpose of the law. Now what is this intent and purpose? It is given other side, point number 257. Intent and purpose means meaning and scope. So Portia said that for the meaning and the scope of the law has full relation to the penalty, that whatever is written in the bond, so that has direct relation with the penalty. And for the intent and purpose, that is meaning and scope, that whatever is meaning was there of the case or whatever scope was there of this case, so that has complete relation with the penalty, that everything speaks about the penalty only. That is, there is no chance for Antonio to escape from this case, so he has to give penalty, which here appear due upon the bond. Now that is, which here appears, that is, whatever is here appearing in the bond, so that only shows that Antonio has to pay penalty. Then Shylock said, "'Tis very true, O wise and upright judge. How much more elder art thou than thy looks." Now Shylock was very happy here that Portia has said that there is no scope for Antonio to escape from the case, and he cannot escape, and he has to pay the penalty to him. So he was so happy. Then again what he said, that is very true, O wise and upright judge, that it is very true, O wise and upright judge. How much more elder art thou than thy looks. That is, in your appearance you look so young, but you have much more intelligence. That is, you have much more intelligence in you. Okay, you look much more wiser than thy looks. Then Portia said, "Therefore lay bare your bosom." So what Portia said, that is, therefore lay bare your bosom. To whom she said? She said to Antonio that therefore, as there is no chance for you to escape, so you prepare yourself, you open your chest and prepare for his penalty, that is, a pound of flesh he will cut from your chest. Then Shylock said, his breast, so says the bond, does it not, noble judge? Nearest his heart, those are the very words." Then what Shylock said, that yes, his breast, that is, yes, it is mentioned in the bond that from his breast I have to cut a pound of flesh. So says the bond, that is mentioned in the bond. Does it not, noble judge? That is it not written there in the bond, noble judge? Nearest his heart, that is from nearer to his heart I have to cut a pound of flesh. Those are the very words, that this is the word that is mentioned in the bond. Then Portia said, it is so. Are there balance to weigh the flesh? Then Portia asked to Shylock that it is so. That yeah, it is so. That is, yes, it is mentioned in the bond. These are the words. So, do you have balance with you to weigh the flesh? That when you cut a pound of flesh, so have you got balance with you to weigh it? Then Shylock said, I have them ready. So he said that yes, I have kept ready my balance. Then Portia, have I some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge, to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death? Then what Portia said, that have I some surgeon, that is, you arrange for any of the surgeon, any of the doctor, so that he can stop his wounds when you cut a pound of flesh. Then on your charge, so what she said, that have I some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge, that is, you bear expense of calling the surgeon to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death. Otherwise, lest means otherwise what will happen, that he will bleed and will finally die. So you arrange for one surgeon on your expense. Then Shylock said, is it so nominated in the bond? Then Shylock again asked Portia, that is it so nominated in the bond? That is it mentioned in the bond that I have to arrange for a surgeon also? Portia, it is not so expressed, but what of that? It were good you do so much for charity. Then what Portia said, that no, it is not expressed, that no, it is not mentioned in the bond, but what of that? But why to think about that? It would be good if you do so much for charity, that is out of kindness. If you do so much, you call one of the surgeon to stop his wounds, then it would be good. Then Shylock, I cannot find it, it is not in the bond. Then what Shylock said, that I cannot find it, that is, I cannot find such kind of words in the bond that I have to arrange for any of the surgeon to cut his to heal up his to give him any kind of first aid, that I don't find such kind of words. It is not expressed in the bond, so it is not mentioned, so I will not arrange also. Then Portia, come merchant, have you anything to say? Then Portia calls merchant, that is Antonio, that come Antonio, that do you want to say you anything in your last moment? Then Antonio said, now this speech is very important, Antonio's speech. Okay, listen it carefully, children. So what Antonio said, but little, I'm armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio, fare you well. Grieve not that I am fallen to this for you, for herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. It is still her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth, to view his hollow eye and wrinkled brow an age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery does she cut me off. Commend me to your honourable wife, tell her the process of Antonio's end. Say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death, and when the tale is told, bid her to be judge whether Bassanio had not once a love. Now here you can see what Antonio said in his last speech. Antonio was saying to Bassanio. So Antonio said, but little. Now but little means, that is, yes, I have little to say. So as Portia had asked her that do you want to say anything, so he said that but little, that yes, I have a few things to say. I am armed and well prepared. So what he said, that I am armed and well prepared. Armed and well prepared, that is, I am equipped with spiritual strength, that I am I'm equipped with spiritual strength, and I'm ready, that I have prepared myself mentally and physically and also soulfully. Give me your hand, Bassanio. So what Antonio said, that give me your hand, Bassanio, fare you well. That is, goodbye to you, my dear friend. Grieve not that I am fallen to this for you. Then Antonio said, grieve not. Grieve not means, that is, don't feel sad. Okay, that do not feel sad that I am in such a condition because of you. So here Antonio says to Bassanio that you don't blame yourself for my such condition. Okay, so you don't feel sad, don't feel grief by looking at me at this situation. For herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. So here what Antonio said, that for herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. Now see, it is very important line. So here Antonio says that for herein fortune shows herself. Now you can see that fortune is here personified. Okay, personified means that fortune is used here as personification. So because fortune we know as it is a abstract thing. Okay, but here herself is used for fortune, that is, fortune is used as a person, so personification. So here Antonio said for herein, that is, herein means that is at this situation, at this moment. So for this moment, at this moment fortune shows herself more kind, that fortune is much more kinder to me at this moment than is her custom, that is, than in her custom. It is still her use to let the rich man outlive his wealth. Now try to understand, children, that what Antonio means to say, that how fortune is kinder to Antonio than in her custom. Okay, so explanation is given after this, that it is still her use to let the rest man outlive his wealth. Now it is still her use. Now her here is used for fortune. So Antonio said that it is still the custom of fortune to let the rest man, rest means miserable man or ruined man, destroyed man. So okay, so he says here that is, it is still the custom of fortune to let the rest man outlive his wealth, that is, to allow the miserable man to outlive his wealth. Outlive his wealth, you can see it is given other side, point number 280, that is, live to see the ruin of his possession. So he says that is, it is still the custom of fortune to allow a miserable person to live longer and to see the destruction of his possessions, that is, possession means wealth. And then he says, to view with hollow eyes and wrinkled brow an age of poverty. So now here he means to say, that is, to view his with hollow eye. Now he means to say that when a person lives longer, okay, then what kind of eyes he have? He gets hollow eye and wrinkled brow. Okay, that is, wrinkles appear on his face, an age of poverty, and these are the signs of the age of poverty. Poverty means, that is, poor condition, that when a person is in poor condition, in a poor state, so what happens? So such kind of poor state effects also are seen on his face. And what are the outcomes of the poor state? That the person's eyes become hollow and his he gets wrinkles on his face. So such kind of people are there, those who lose all their wealth, so they have to live longer and still suffer in the old age. From which lingering penance of such misery does she cut me off? And now he says, from which lingering penance? Lingering penance meaning is very important, 282 number. It means prolonged suffering. that is prolonged. Prolonged means that is afterwards. Now here you can see that Antonio's all the suffering was going to get over. Why? Because his life will be over, he will be dead once Shylock will cut a pound of flesh from his body. So he says that I am luckier at this time, that fortune is much more generous to me, that it is taking away my life at the same time when I have become poor. Okay, that I don't have to see my old age, my sufferings without my possession, without my wealth. So he says that from which lingering penance of such misery does she cut me off? That is, cut me off means spared me. That fortune has spared me from my prolonged suffering that I may have in my old age when I have become poor. Now he says that commend me to your honorable wife, tell her the process of Antonio's end. Now he says here to Bassanio that you commend me, that is, commend means that is you convey my respects to your honorable wife. Commend me to your honorable wife, 284 number, it is given at the side, that you convey my respects, convey my regards to your honorable wife, and tell her the process of Antonio's end. And that is, you tell her that how Antonio had his last time. Say how I loved you, and you also tell her that how much I loved you. Speak me fair in death. And then he says that is, you speak me fair in death, that is, you speak well of me after my death. And when the tale is told, tale means story, that and when you tell everything about me, when you tell all the story to her, so bid her be judge whether Antonio had not once a love. That is, after telling everything about me, you bid her to judge. Bid means ask, that you ask her to justify, you ask her to judge or to decide whether Bassanio had not once a love. That is, whether Bassanio had a true loving friend or not. Let her decide that. And then, repent not you that you shall lose your friend, and he repents not, he pays your debt. Now, what here Antonio says to Bassanio, that repent not you that you shall lose your friend. Repent not you, 289 number you can see, repent means regret, afsos karna, to become sad, to feel sad. So here he says that you must only regret, repent not you is given, that is, you must only regret that you shall lose your friend, that you must only regret that you have lost a friend, and he repents not. Now he here pronoun is used for Antonio himself. Okay, now he is telling, Antonio is telling here that after my death what you have to do, that is, you must only regret this much, that you have lost one good friend, and he repents not, that is, I will not regret at this that I have to pay your debt, that I lost my life while paying your debt, so I don't have any kind of regret at this. For if the Jew do cut but deep enough, I will pay it instantly with all my heart. And then Antonio says, for, that is, because if the Jew do cut but deep enough, that is, if Jew while cutting a pound of flesh, if he cuts the flesh from deep enough also, I will pay it instantly with all my heart. With all my heart means, that is, happily I will pay him that penalty. Then Bassanio says, Antonio, I am married to a wife which is as dear to me as life itself. But life itself, my wife, and all the world are not with me esteemed above thy life. I would lose all, I sacrifice them all here to this devil to deliver you. Now here what Bassanio said, Bassanio replied Antonio that Antonio, I am married to a wife. So he said that, and dear friend Antonio, I am married to a wife which is as dear to me as life itself. That is, I love my wife very much, and she is equally dear to me as much I like my life. But life itself, my wife, and all the world are not with me esteemed above thy life. So what he said? He said that is, I love to myself, I love to my wife equally as I love to myself. And then he says, but life itself, that is this life which I have of mine, and my wife which I have got, and all the world, that is, and everything which I have in this world, are not with me esteemed above thy life. That is, are not with me esteemed. That is, I do not like all those things, or I don't give any kind of position to anything. I don't give any kind of importance to anything than your life. Okay, that he means to say that your life is much more and much more and much more important to me than anything else, than my life also, than my wife also, and everything in this world. Then he says, are not I would lose all, I sacrifice them all here to this devil to deliver you. And then Bassanio says that I would lose all, that is, I am ready to lose everything, whatever I have, my life also, my wife also, and my everything, whatever I have. And then he says that I would lose all, that I am ready to lose everything, I sacrifice them all. That is, yes, I means yes, that yes, I am ready to sacrifice everything here to this devil to deliver you, that is to save you. Then Portia replied, your wife would give you little thanks for that, if she were by to hear you make the offer. Now Portia was there, and Portia saw that how easily Bassanio was ready to sacrifice his wife, that is Portia also, to this devil, that is to Shylock. So she said to Bassanio in ironical way that your wife would give you little thanks for that. That is, if your wife would be here and she would have listened you offering her to this devil in such a way, liberal way, then if she were by, that is, if she were nearby and would have listened to you making such an offer, she would have really thanked you for that. Then Greciano said that I have a wife whom I protest I love. I would she were in heaven, so she could entreat some power to change this courage Jew. Now Greciano was here. Now the way Bassanio liberally made offer to this man, a Shylock, so he also said that I also have a wife whom I protest I love. That is, I swear that I love my wife very much. I would she were in heaven. Now he says that I wish that at this time my wife would be there in the heaven, so she could entreat some power, that is, so that she could send some heavenly power from the heaven to change this Karish Jew, that is, to change the mind of this cruel Jew, wild Jew. Then Nerissa, she was also standing there, and she was also listening to her husband, that how he wants that his wife would be there in the heaven. So Narisa said, "'Tis well you offer it behind her back." So Narisa said that it is good that you have offered it, such kind of offer you have made in her absence. The wish would make else an unquiet house. That is, such kind of wish would have also made your house unquiet. Okay, now we stop here. In the next video, we will continue from line number 306 from Shylock's speech.